Hey guys, welcome back to Skylanders Ring of Heroes. Now this is just a quick video that I really wanted to make after I uploaded my last video talking about my B8 team. And I was obviously using the Stormblade, and it's not a free to play unit, and I was a little bit stumped on what unit to replace Stormblade with, and I can't believe I didn't actually think about it. Before they rebalanced the dungeons on the soft launch server, basically when you couldn't really progress past B8, I was doing my fast farming using Stealth Elf, a two-man team. But I did have much better runes, so I didn't need the healer. Broccoli Guy was enough at 6-star, but that's off topic. It was Stealth Elf, and the other unit was Boomer. So I don't know why I didn't think about this when I was doing that video, so I thought I'd better get all the information that I do have and every idea that I do have out there, so you guys do have options. So Boomer is a fantastic option that I think can replace the Stormblade in this B8 team. Similar to Stormblade, neutral element against the boss, so will survive as well. However, this guy you can 6-star and awaken him, giving him much better stats, so I think he'll be a better option than the Stormblade for this purpose. However, it will just take you longer to get there, so it's going to take you an extra few days to farm an extra unit, basically, is the gist of it. It's probably more than, it's probably 4 days, I reckon, to if you farm really hard to max level and awaken a unit. So we'll take a bit of a look at Boomer, and then we'll talk about it a bit more about why I think he's a really good one to build early. Like I said, obviously in this progression, if you're going with the Whirlwind, and I'm a massive fan of Whirlwind at the moment, if you're going with the same sort of progression idea as what I was doing with the Stealth Elf and the Whirlwind, and then you didn't have the Stormblade or another good Nat 5 to sort of carry you through that early content, you could probably just put Enigma in there, work with Enigma, and then start farming this guy. If you were doing this progression, I'd probably look at doing Whirlwind up to 5-star, and then jumping over to Boomer, doing a maxed out Boomer at 6-star Awaken, and then going back to Whirlwind to get Whirlwind to 6-star. Whirlwind's one of those ones for me in my progression on my account. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave Whirlwind at the 6-star. I'm not going to awaken her. I just feel like what I need out of her at the moment, 6-star is enough, and it's more efficient for me to then go farm other stuff to streamline my progression. So the reason I really like Boomer, so this would be the second unit you start building if you went for this sort of idea. The reason I like him is bombs are amazing. When he's awakened, he gets AoE bombs. When he's unawakened, they're single target. So if you decide that this is what you're going to focus on, if it was me, I'd just go hard. I'd 6-star him first, then awaken him, just spend the 4 days or whatever, grinding really hard, and then you've got a fantastic unit that's also then going to transition over into B9. Another option, like I said, I've seen a lot in Arena, is Kaboom. Now, Kaboom is a fantastic unit. I completely agree. I'll just touch on him now because we're on the topic of bombs. So Kaboom's similar. You've got to awaken him to make his bombs AoE. He's probably a little better in Arena than Boomer. Hard to say. They're sort of 50-50. He's just got the lower cooldown, can get those bombs up earlier, which means they explode earlier, especially if you have something like a Spitfire that can maybe passive attack buff him. But that's off topic again. The reason I probably would go Boomer instead of Kaboom, this is all just theory again, is just the fact that B8, Kaboom's probably not going to be able to get you the 3-star on the B8, just due to the elemental disadvantage. Even if he does survive the waves and speed up that progress, I feel like one single target attack from the boss and he's just about done. So I'm not 100% sure if he does actually if he is actually a viable option in B8. In B8, that'd be awesome. But just theory crafting it, I think he might not be. That's why I really like the Boomer idea. Now, the big hurdle with using Boomer in your progression instead of that Kaboom or another unit is that he does have elemental disadvantage against the B7 boss. So it's a big trade-off, but my theory is that B7 is earlier, it's easier, so you need less stats to survive it, even at elemental disadvantage. So my thought is, if you're doing my sort of progression, working through the Stealth Elf into the Whirlwind at 5-star, you can then start working on this Boomer, and if you just grind him real hard, like I said, get him to 6-star and awaken, I feel like 6-star awaken with sort of, average sort of runes, he should be able to survive that B7 boss just because he would have that extra base stat bonus of being 6-star and awaken. Now, obviously, Some people might think, but yeah, then I'm spending an extra 4 days before I can start farming B7. This is true, but I feel like you might be getting caught up in the idea of doing arena and stuff like that. Arena's just there to get points and get your Omni Gems early game. Don't stress too much about it if you're not ranking up really well in arena. PvE progression is what you really want to focus on, and that's why I think taking a few days early in your progression to farm this guy to help you, even if it takes that full 6-star max Awaken to make him useful in B7. I feel like your progression is going to be much more streamlined moving into B8 and then B9 as well, because him, along with Whamshell, is the B9 combo. With a Broccoli guy healing, those two can two-man B9 really easily with the right runes. You'll have to farm B8 for a while, and that's why I really think getting to B8 is the optimal hurdle to get to first over the B7 hurdle. B7 drop rates are a little low. B8 seems low as well. If you're farming B7, you'll think those drop rates are horrible and you'll want to get to B8. And then when you get to B8, you'll think those are horrible and you want to get to B9. And trust me, when you get to B9, you'll think they're horrible and you want to get to B10. And I'm sure we'll get to B10 and we'll still think they're horrible, but that's the way the game is. If it was too easy to get the best runes, then it probably wouldn't be that fun. Same token on the farming units. If anyone played in soft launch, the drop rates were a lot higher on the fragments. They reduced them. It was really annoying for a long time because we got used to those high drop rates. However, I think in my first month of playing on that account, I had like 10 6-star max units, which did seem like a bit much. So it is a big grind getting those units maxed when they're fully farmable, but it's definitely rewarding once you actually do get one done. I still haven't finished my Whirlwind. I'm pretty close to 6-starring her now, but I'm really looking forward to that. But another thing I wanted to talk about progression-wise when farming units that are fully farmable, and that is why I prefer farming the 3 stars first as opposed to the 2 stars. So a perfect example is going to be that Boomer compared to, actually I don't have a Boomer, so we'll keep going through here. So Boomer compared to Whamshell. So like I said, Whamshell and Boomer are going to be the two that I'm going to take into B9 to clear that. And the reason I'm going to farm Boomer first is because he's the natural 3-star. So Wish Stones are a big thing. So when you're farming all those shards for 4 days, you're going to get a lot of Wish Stones, which means you're going to do a lot of Wish Stone summons. And from those Wish Stone summons, you're more likely to get Nat 2s than Nat 3s. So my idea being that by the time I've farmed my Boomer completely, the Wish Stones that I've got from farming Boomer might end up giving me, say, I don't know, 50 to 100, don't quote me on numbers, but 50 to 100 Whamshell shards, which means those are shards that I don't then have to farm for that Whamshell. And when I was talking earlier about how Kaboom's a fantastic unit, so Kaboom's fantastic, and I think he's going to be a great option in B10, and he's amazing in Mirage Tower because level 60 is Undead Element, so Kaboom has the elemental advantage at that level 60 of the tower, and he basically shreds it. He's the key to clearing Tower 60 the easy way, basically. So he is amazing for that, but for me, dungeon progression is more important right now than arena or Mirage Tower progression. So I'm going to build the Boomer, and then I'm going to build the Whamshell, because like I said, farming Boomer is going to give me a lot of Wishstone summons, hopefully get me a bunch of Whamshell shards from it, and then from that I'll farm the Whamshell and get the remaining that I need from him, and whilst I'm farming him I'll be getting a lot more Wishstones again, which I'll then be hopefully get some more Kaboom shards, so that then his farming is faster when I get to that. So it's the sort of thing I'm trying to get across is you don't have to do this. This is just me being micromanaging it and trying to be as efficient as possible. Obviously, just farm the unit you want to build, but if you do want to be really efficient, it's just a good idea to farm those Nat 3s that you want before the Nat 2s, just so that you can optimize that efficiency in the farming time that it does take, because it does get a bit tedious after a few days of farming shards, but anything you can do to sort of speed up that process is real nice. So that is definitely why I recommend doing the Boomer before the Nat, the Whamshell, if you're going to go for that progression for B9 as well. But yeah, Boomer all round. Let's just take a look at skills. I've done all this talking, I haven't even mentioned his skills yet. So he's got this skill 1, which is a bomb. When awakened, it's AoE. When not awakened, it's single target. AoE explode. Bombs do amazing damage. This is just awesome, this skill. So it's 2 mana, so it's very mana efficient and everything. And then the other amazing thing about him is this skill. Without skill ups, it's only an 80% chance to attack up for 1 turn to all allies. It's still really nice unskilled. 4 mana, which is moderately expensive on a 12-second cooldown. That's a pretty standard sort of combo you find. 4 mana, 11, 12-second cooldown. It's fine. So the awesome thing about this is it's attack up for all your allies. So that's going to include your Stealth Elf and your Whirlwind. And the cool thing about that is it'll increase if Whirlwind has that attack buff when using the regen. Actually, I haven't actually tested this. This is an assumption I'm making that the attack buff will benefit the regen. I'll update this in a later video if it does. I'd assume it does because it's based off attack, but we'll have to find out. But definitely for the Stealth Elf, for when you get to the boss, getting the attack buff, especially if the Stealth Elf can crit with the skill 2 on the boss after attack buff, it's going to do a big chunk of damage. And the other thing about this skill is it must have one of the highest multipliers in the game because it hits like a truck as well. And obviously on top of that, he's buffing himself with attack, which then means his bomb's going to do more damage. So he's just an amazing unit. He has also got this 3rd skill that slams in the ground, damages all enemies. It actually skills up to reduce the count on the bombs, so the bombs explode quicker, and it does really nice damage. I feel like this is going to be a later game use of Boomer. You might see some niche bomb teams going for this sort of strategy. But for the sort of early game stage, I'm thinking the skill 1 and skill 2 are going to be key. And like I said, for that B8 progression, he will take a little longer to get than if you just rolled for the Stormblade. But he's going to be a unit that you're going to have to farm anyway. So I'm going to have to spend a few days farming this guy pretty much starting tomorrow or the day after. And yes, I've cleared B8 and I've 3-starred it, but I'm not really going to farm it before I start building this Boomer. So it's just basically swapping when you clear it, because I'm still not going to farm it really till I build the Boomer. I probably will farm it the odd time because desperation for some good runes and stuff like that. But if you get my point, the progression won't be halted too much by farming this guy, and he's just an amazing unit all around. So that's the pro tip that I forgot to put into that the other video, and that's pretty much for this one, guys. So thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.